What's up, everybody? Ben Rez here for Odd Chopper. I am back. NFL Survivor rolls on. We got another week upon us, week 6, and it's time to break it down, highlight a few teams that you could go to in your Survivor pools. Now, if you're in your original Survivor pool, it's beyond serious. I mean, even the largest fields have been whittled down to basically no one. But for a lot of people, me included, if you're playing in second chance survivors, third chance survivors, things like that, we still need to find some picks. And that's why I'm glad you're here. We're going to dive into it. I want to welcome you to the channel. All things betting, breaking down games, college, hoops, MLB, on the ice, whatever you want. We've got. Take a look around, subscribe, like the video. It does help me immensely. Let's get into it. We're going to bring up the odds screen. I'll zoom in for us. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight 3 picks as I always do. Kind of, I'll label them a little different, but you know how it is. It's the NFL. Clearly, there's no safe picks out there. But let's get things started with obviously a very, very good team, but they're playing what might be, I guess you could say, might be a great team. I don't think so, but it's possible. And that's a matchup everyone's going to have their eyes on. And I'm talking about Baltimore and Washington. One thing I like about this pick with the Ravens, not a lot of people, in my opinion, are going to be willing to go to Baltimore here because Baltimore is going to be a big favorite in a lot of games. You're not really looking to burn them, and you're not really looking to burn them against the team in Washington who's absolutely been beyond, exceeding expectations. They look unbelievable. Jaden Daniels is getting MVP talk. They're hanging 40 points seemingly on everyone, but this is an objectively terrible spot, in my opinion, and the line agrees. This is pushing north, way over minus 250. It's up to minus 300 in some spots. I think it's really just stylistically a bad spot for Washington. As good as they've been in a lot of areas, the defense still needs some work. They're 31st in rushing yards allowed per attempt, and you're playing Baltimore. Baltimore, who has one of, if not the best rushing attack in the league, Lamar and Henry, and I guess you could say even Justice Hill, and certainly all those weapons. We just saw them in an absolute duel with Cincinnati. Obviously, they've played some big-time teams. They had a hiccup against the Raiders, no doubt about it, and that knocked out a lot of people in Survivor way back in week 2, I believe. But Baltimore in this spot, I do think, is primed to put their best foot forward. Washington has answered basically all the challenges except for opening week. I'm not sure they answer this one. So if you're saying, okay, I'm okay isolating a really good team, but not in the easiest matchup in the world, you're still looking at a Ravens team that's almost a touchdown favorite. So the books are pretty confident that they can win this game. I am also pretty confident in that. Let's get things started with the Baltimore Ravens as a potential survivor play. We got 2 more coming. I do want to mention, though, again, I'm filming this early in the week. Injuries. Things will pop up. News will be breaking. For that type of stuff, it's one of the many reasons I really encourage people, whether you're playing Survivor or you just enjoy betting, to come into the marketplace, come into Tails, and join. And when you do, you're going to get into my Discord as well. I'm dropping plays. We're talking through things, certainly Survivor as well. All sorts of different things. It's a great group, and all the picks sync right to this. You also get it right on the app, right on Odd Chopper. It's a really, really fun community and one that I think is worth checking out. If you are interested, again, make sure you come on in, use that code. Link is below, and I'll simply see you in there. If it's not for you and you don't want to stay, no harm, no foul. But if you do enjoy it and you are making some extra money and getting some extra info, I hope you'll stay for a long time and build this community. We're growing really quickly. It's really exciting. So that is linked to my Discord and my Tails Marketplace. Let's get back to the picks, though. We talked about Baltimore. Now we got to put a second one on the board. I'm going to go, again, I say aggressive, which would have worked out last week with Denver, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to highlight the Packers. I think that the Packers are in an interesting spot here, back in Lambeau against the Cardinals, who I really don't know what to make of, to be completely honest. Now they go and the Niners are just handing out wins left and right. I don't really understand that. Again, I'm not overly sold on Arizona as a team, just in general. I look at them, they still struggle defensively and in almost all the metrics. Yards per pass, 30th. It's just like completion percentage, 30th. I worry about them, not just against Jordan Love, but just in general. It's a team, they crushed the Rams 41-10, slipped by San Francisco 24-23. They were blown out by Washington. They lost to Detroit, and they lost to Buffalo. So strength of schedule, no knock to them. They've played really competent opponents. But I look at Green Bay, even though they've got some issues in that wide receiver core, they still have, I think, ample weapons, certainly with Kraft stepping up. Reed is there. Jacobs is there. At home, where they're much stronger. Not as aggressive in terms of a line. You're talking about minus 230 to minus 250 range, but the opportunity cost is pretty weak. And you look at that division, you're not going to be taking them. I mean, I guess against Chicago and Lambeau, maybe, but like you're talking about two with Detroit, two with Minnesota. I mean, those are tough games. The Packers don't have that many spots to burn them. So if you are in a second chance pool and it's just getting started, you might want to look to zig with a team like Green Bay. I think it's a pretty good opportunity and one that I'd be comfortable with if you're willing to roll the dice. Not my favorite, but worth mentioning. So we've got the Ravens, we've got the Packers. Who ultimately do I think we should go with? And it's going to be maybe more obvious than usual, but I like this spot quite a bit, and it's going to be easy to justify because they're biggest favorite on the board, and that would be the Philadelphia Eagles, sitting north of minus 400. So we're not breaking any news here. They will be very, very popular, but on a week with buys starting to happen, you probably have the Eagles available. I'm not sure how good the Eagles are, and this is part of my interest here. Things I like, they're 2-2 when they're off a bye. It's early season, so the bye maybe isn't as refreshing, but when you look at this team, they could really have used it. Devontae Smith, hurt. A.J. Brown, hurt. Are these guys going to play? Well, right now it's ambiguous, but they're certainly closer to playing. You start getting reinforcements back to the Eagles, they can quickly become a team that is a dangerous, dangerous team. Obviously, Saquon, Hurts. That defense, I do think, has made some strides, but it's really not about Philly. And it's, like I said, it's not hard to justify a team at home playing the Browns. That's why they're more north of minus 400. That's why they'll be very popular. But I still believe it's the right play because I think the Browns, you never know in the NFL, but if there's a team that's basically at rock bottom, I think it is Cleveland. They're 1-4. They are just terrible. Lost by 21 to Washington. Third straight road game. Deshaun Watson looks horrendous. The O-line is a mess. They've got injuries all over the place. 5 games, points scored 17, 18, 15, 16, and 13. That's simply not going to get it done. It's almost a miracle they have any wins with that. And I'm honestly not sure how that really changes for Cleveland. I look at this spot. It's just bad. Like I said, you're on the road for the third straight game. It's just really, really a tough environment. Coming off a team who's rested off a bye, they're better anyway. There's a reason why this spread is teetering on double digits. It's warranted. In my opinion, despite all the massive upsets that we have seen in the NFL this year, this will not be one of them. If you want to move on, survive in advance, the Eagles would be the spot. Appreciate everybody. As always, if you have questions on anything I talked about here, just in general, how to get in Discord, about Tails, the marketplace, again, go to OddsShopper, tweet me at JazzRazBets. Happy to help, happy to answer anything. Just really appreciate the support. Obviously, this has been one of the craziest Survivor years I can ever remember, but it's still really fun hopping on, examining the slate, and dropping some potential plays for you guys. So on that note, I'm going to bounce on out of here. If you could hit the like button on your way out, let's survive and advance to week 7. For me, for the Ravens, for the Packers and Eagles, good luck and joy, and I'll talk to you guys soon.